folks, this is Pete, and we're doing Pete's Eats Cooking videos. Today I'm going to make two fabulous coleslaws for you. One's going to be an oil-based coleslaw, and one's going to be a creamy-based coleslaw, and they are low-cost, delicious, and your family is going to love them, and they're healthy to boot. So let's begin. So for both of these delicious coleslaws, you're going to need cabbage, carrots, and onions. And that's it in terms of the main ingredients. Of course, there's many other things that you can add, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. For the oil-based coleslaw, you'll need sunflower oil, which I like to use, vinegar, any type of vinegar that you like. I use regular vinegar, salt and pepper, and that's it. For the creamy-based coleslaw, we also use mayo. So let's begin, and I'll show you how to do it right now. So for a normal family-sized serving, I would use half of a sort of a nice large-sized cabbage. I'll cut that in half in a second. And you want to remove any of these sort of dodgy outer leaves, and then give it a rinse under water. For my purposes today, I'll use half for the creamy and half for the oily. So the way we're going to cut this is all the way down from the stem up to the top, and it is a little bit tricky. You have to be careful and do this slowly. You don't want to cut yourself. And there you go. I also am going to cut out this core. I'm going to do a diagonal cut here and a diagonal cut here to get this meaty core out. So I'm going to shred the cabbage now. I've got a big knife and I'm going to cut it right up from where the core was to the top. And now you can see I've got this layers and layers of cabbage, and I want to cut this as thinly as I can. And then of course some of these might be too long, so I'll just cut them up into a bit smaller pieces, and then I'll put them into my bowl. And there you go, there's half a head of cabbage slawed up really nicely, ready, and that took me, I'm sure, not more than a minute. It really is no big deal. So what I want to do now is add the onion, and for one bowl I'm going to use half of just a regular yellow onion. Of course, you can use a shallot if you want, you could use green onion, you could use Spanish onion, anything you want. I like just regular yellow onion, and the main thing is it has to be chopped really, really fine. So I'm just going to cut it into really, really fine slices, as fine as I can. There we go. I'll just put that right in with the cabbage. For the carrot, it even gets easier. I've cleaned the carrot, and I'm just going to use the peeler, and I'm just going to peel off pieces of the carrot right into the salad. And that's it. I like about one full carrot for one coleslaw. So here you go. Here's the coleslaw. It's got its three main ingredients: the cabbage, onion, and carrot. The carrot pieces are a bit long, but as you mix it, they'll all break up because they're really thin little shreds of carrot. But also, you have to really recognize here, you could add chopped up kale if you wanted really finely julienne peppers. Obviously, parsley would give it a nice fresh taste and is very often used. There's all kinds of things you could throw in here if you want. But this is the basic delicious three ingredients that is going to make it fabulous. Of course, celery as well is something you could put in. So let's get it dressed up. Let's do the oil-based dressing first. And I have to emphasize, this is all about taste. So I'm going to put about a quarter cup to a half cup of sunflower oil in. And then I'm going to put about half of that, maybe an eighth of a cup of white vinegar, just regular white vinegar. And then I'm going to put some pepper. I like it quite peppery, so I'm going to put quite a bit of pepper, probably about a good quarter teaspoonful of pepper. And salt. Instead of salt, I do like using the Herbamare mixture. So I'm going to put some of that in. And again, this is totally a taste. You can just use regular salt, which I did for years and years before I discovered this Herbamare mixture. So quite a bit of that. I want it quite salty for sure. I'm guessing that would be about a quarter plus teaspoonful. And sugar. I definitely like my coleslaw sweet. So I'm putting about a good 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar. And then I'm going to mix it up nicely. Get all those parts together. And I'm going to taste. And I'm going to adjust. And give it a taste. I think it definitely needs more salt. I'm going to get just the regular salt. So I'm going to add about another 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And I think it needs some more oil. It doesn't have quite enough body to it. So a little bit more sunflower oil. Of course you could add olive oil at this point if you want to give it a little bit of a olive oil kind of flavor to it. And just keep tasting and adjusting until it's exactly how you like it. I would suggest at least 3 or 4 adjustments. And there you go. Let's do the creamy one now. The first thing I'm going to do is add a good 2 to 3. I'm going to do 3 heaping tablespoons, 3.5 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And a little bit of vinegar, maybe about a 1/4 cup of vinegar. No, not a quarter, 1/8 of a cup of vinegar. Give it a really nice sourness. Some pepper, I like pepper. About a 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. Nice peppery taste to it. Salt, this time I'm just gonna use the regular salt. I'm gonna put about a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I want it salty for sure. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of regular sunflower oil, just to give it a little bit more body. And sugar. I like my coleslaw sweet. So I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Those are all 1/2 tablespoons. So about a good 2 teaspoons. So about a good 2 teaspoons full. And just mix it up and taste and adjust and taste and adjust and taste and adjust. If you like it creamier, add more mayo. If you like it saltier, more salt. If you like it sweeter, obviously more sweet. And just keep tasting. If you keep tasting, there's no way you're gonna go wrong with this. So I'm gonna give this a try. Just grab some with my fingers. Definitely more sweet, it needs more sweetness. 1, 2. But other than that, I think we're pretty close. There you go, creamy coleslaw. So there you go, 2 wonderful coleslaws. A creamy coleslaw and an oily based coleslaw. They're gonna love them. I wanna just say one more thing. Nowadays, the Mexican food is very popular. If you want to sort of make a Mexican style coleslaw to either use as a condiment on tacos or just like that, what you can do is use limes instead of the vinegar, add some cilantro, and maybe some really finely chopped jalapenos to the basic mixture without the mayo on the oily side. And it'll be great. Enjoy!